be able to know the 5-number summary quickly and easily. As always, least to greatest. Laura, 1,000 points right there. And let's do this.
I found him. What's he doing? I don't know.
The 5-number summary is the following values.
He's talking to someone.
From least to greatest, min, Q1, median, Q3, and the max. Nice answers. If you put the 5-number summary in the chat, you get 1,000 points. Keep these answers coming.
What is it? What happened?
Hey everyone, I got to walk around campus for a moment. I like just, it's so nice to take a little break and just enjoy the day. It's a nice day, good weather. Got some free ramen too. Shouts to the ramen people just handing out free ramen. Brielle, good to see you there. Aaron, good to see you there. Who wants to do chapter 2 quiz? If you put your question in the chat, if you're working on, and Lindsay, good to see you there. Drop your chapter 2 quiz question in the chat if you're currently working on chapter 2 quiz. Just tell me the first 3 words of it. Between mean and median, the mean is the average of all observations. The median is the 50th percentile. The mean is used for more symmetric data, like when it's like just unimodal symmetric, where the median is used more for skewed data. Both are measures of center. Mean and median are both measures of center, telling us where the middle of the data is, where the median is not impacted by outliers because it's the 50th percentile, and the mean is the average of everything, so outliers will impact it. The accompanying data in the table, let's go check that out. The accompanying data in the table. The accompanying data in the table. If you just get the first few words of it, I can usually find it. The accompanying data in the table. Not the accompanying histogram, right? The accompanying data in the table. If you see it, if you're like, number 10, Brian, it'll be different. Your numbers will be different than mine. A clerk? I think we found it. Ooh, you might have one of the toughest ones. I think we found it. This is going to be one of the toughest ones, and we're going to do it in Excel today. So I think we found it. It's not tough. It's just laborious. Laborious. That's a fun word. Labor. Lots of it. Okay. University Street Yacht, Brielle. And if you saw the number, let me know. We'll do that one next. Let's do this right here. Stat 201, Chapter 2 quiz. Thank you. Just keep giving questions. And the data in flood. That's flood data. Okay. And then the next one is going to be a university teacher. And drop them in the chat. I might say we've done it if we've done it, but we haven't done it yet. So let's do it. Okay, so we're going to open up Excel. I'm going to open up Excel in the background right here. Have Excel open. And let's show how to get some of these numbers. Now, there's a famous saying of give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for life. And that's kind of what we're doing right here is we want to show you that you could ask ChatGPT. We want to like use ChatGPT to its fullest extent. So I'm going to go over here to ChatGPT. And I could ask it, how do I find the 5-number summary and mean using Excel data? Give me the codes. I'm going to show it over here in a moment. I guess pulled up right here. There we go. So it's writing all these different codes right here to do in Excel. There's the code for the average and all these different things. And so what we need to do right now is take this data and bring it to Excel. Who follows me on this? We're going to take this data from my Pearson, the Pearson question, and bring it to Excel. So here's the data. Now we're going to go to this right here for copy to clipboard, and then we click right here. Tell me if you're lost. We're just copying the data, and we'll hit Control-C. The steps, once again, are click on the data table, click on the little drop-down menu, click Copy to Clipboard, and then hit Control-C or Command-C. Now the data is in your copy, and now we're going to go back to Excel, and we're going to paste the data. Usually in the first cell, we paste the data. Notice that there's no column header. It doesn't say flood desk or anything like that. It just has the data. So what we can do for the first question, let's do a little side-by-side right here. Ready? We're going to go side-by-side. Side-by-side. Look at this. You'll see it in a second. Go side-by-side. Okay. So the first question says, what is the mean of the data? So to find the mean of the data, we're simply going to write equals average. And then once we click equals average, we're going to drag and hold and then hit regular enter. Just enter. There's the average. So to 2 decimal places, which we can also round if we go to the data button. Do I get my rounding on here? It's the delete the decimals. Oh, it's under home. Home has delete decimals. Where is it? I know when it's full screened. Yeah, when it's full screened, it's this. That's the delete the decimals button. There we go. That does decimal accuracy for you. And I think we're good. I'm getting it. So there's the 2 decimal place accuracy I wanted. So the mean is 101.76. Now we could sort the data ourselves. Hello, Presley. Good to see you there. We could sort this data right here, which is a good thing to know. Sort it. We'll go A through Z. And there's 21 observations. So if you take the data right here, I think this is the lower portion of it. And I'm trying to get to where I can, there we go. And then this is right here. I think this should be at 10 and 10. Is that right? This looks to be 10 and 10. And it looks like the median is 103. Does everyone see how that's the middle number? It was also, you have to sort data to get the median. So we should be able to do a median formula. We didn't put anything inside of it. That's a bad idea. Click there and then grab and hold. And the median is 103. How are we doing on this? Do people see how I'm getting the median? I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see a little bit better. Tell me if anything's too big or too small. We're using the formulas in Excel, but we're also showing how to do it. If we wanted to get the mean, we'd have to add up all the numbers and divide by the total. Great job, Reptile, right there. Now, the quartiles are a little different. It's a similar function to what we've been doing. What number is this? This is the data accompanying. Everyone has different questions. We're going to do a university professor next. Drop your questions in the chat with the first 3 or 4 words, and I'll find it, and we'll do it. This is one of the toughest ones, I would say, so good one to get done first. The first quartile of data, we're going to type quartile, if I can get down to this cell, and type quartile, or there it is, quartile right there. It's an old function, but it'll work. And with quartile, we give the array and then the quartile we're given, which for the quartile, we're going to enter in 0.25. Now, you should logically think what you're going to get. The code is up there in the corner. You're probably going to get something around 53, maybe exactly 53. 38, that's not the right quartile. I think quartile, haven't done it in a while in Excel, needs to be the full number. Now it's mad at me. No! Let's write first quartile. First quartile is 1, because 1/4 of the data. Notice how I was logically thinking through the answers. Because if you break your data up into quartiles, this would be the bottom quarter of the data. Quartiles mean the percent of data in a quarter of the data, like 25% of the data. This is about as best I can draw the quartiles here visually. The bottom quarter, the second quarter of the data, the median, which is part of the third quartile. It divides up the third quartile. Here's where the top of the third quartile is, and here's the top 25% of the data. So for the third quartile, where we've gone through 3/4 of the data, 75% of the data should be somewhere down there. And we're just going to take, as I destroy my code, we're going to take this code up here and just change this to the third quartile. Accompanying histogram, you got it. Notice all I'm changing here is not the first quartile of the data to the third quartile. And look, it's right about there. It's finding the exact answers for me, but we can kind of visually see where the quarters are. It is saying it's at 131. The range of the data, we can find that here, but how do we get the range? The range is 150. How do we get the range? Can anyone tell me how to get the range? Can anyone tell me how to get the range? The range is 150. And if this is Q1, this is Q3, that's going to help us later. How do we get the range? What is the formula for the range? Well, we can see what the min is. The range is what? Go to review of the concepts. The range is what? Who knows the range for 1,000 points? Max minus min, exactly. Range is max minus min, exactly. Great answers. So you just take these numbers and subtract them. I think you can also do range, but I mean, like, can you do range? You can't even do range. They won't even let you do it because they're like, well, it's just max minus min. So it's going to be 150. Just take those numbers and subtract them for range, which is max minus min. And then the IQR, they should have a formula for IQR, but looks like they don't. How do we get the IQR? Last question right here, also worth 1,000 points. How do I get the IQR? We're going to zoom in on this a little bit, and I want you to think about how you get the IQR, and just tell me mathematically how I can find the IQR for this question. The IQR is mathematically Q3, we could put it over here, Q3 minus Q1. Q3 minus Q1, right? So why don't we just do equals this, which is Q3 minus Q1. Does that make sense? We should get everything right. Yay! We did it. Yep, Q3 minus Q1. So it's just entering things into Excel. It's not that bad, but just follow the steps right there. You can see all the formulas. This is recorded. Probably one of the toughest questions, hence it took 7 minutes, but this is how to enter things into Excel. You can also use the data analytics tool pack. I guess I'll show that. But if you go right here, click on the data and go to data. I'm going to use data analysis, data analytics tool pack. Let's go here to summary. There should be summary statistics on here. Descriptive statistics. So let me slow this down. Highlight your data. Click data analysis. Under data analysis, go to descriptive statistics and click OK. Input the data range by clicking the top of the cell. There is no label in the first row for this data because it doesn't have a label. Now we're going to do summary statistics, and we don't need anything else. So let's click OK. And there's a lot of the answers. Well, even easier. We didn't get the Q1. We didn't get other values, so we'd have to find those on our own. But here's a lot of the values I was looking for, like the mean. It didn't ask for standard deviation, but you can get a lot of the values using this pretty quickly. Okay, good question. Let's do a university professor, university teacher, and then former student here, somebody. Yeah, Brendan, good to see you. Some extra points in the chat. Former student, good to see you. Accompanying histogram, live burst. Yes, let's get that one on the list. Accompanying histogram, live burst. Shout out to everyone in the chat. And please just drop every question. When you drop them now, we do them because that way I'll see it in the list. Next one is a university teacher. And some of these are, is that the one we just said? Live burst? No, it's not that. W. Brendan, I love it. We had Colin dropping by. A lot of people drop by, and I love it. Drop by when you finish. Yeah. Here we go. I think this is the live burst one, right? So let's move this one. We only have one more question after this, so drop it in the chat because we only have one more question. And then I'll be like, well, I'm out. I won't leave yet. But drop another question if you got it. If I see it, we'll do it. And we will see it. Okay, here we are with accompanying histogram shows live births. What kind of monster man we got here? What kind of monster man is this? I need to know monster man in the chat. We did all right in class, but we got to do better. We strive to be the best. Very best. What kind of monster man is this? To the left. To the left, to the left. Skewed to the left, right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. You guys say that tons of times, and people in the chat know. Let's throw 1,000 points. We got people talking a lot in the chat. So that's left to the low, right to the high, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. Definitely a left skewed monster man. Now, what follows the skew? What concept follows the skew? What concept follows the skew? What concept follows the skew? The mean, you're right. So the median is going to be higher for this. The mean follows the skew. Good notes from class. So the mean follows the skew. Let's see if this helps us out. The blank will be larger, the median, because it's skewed to the left. We see that visually right there. Choose the correct answer. Well, what do you think we should use for the measure of center? Mean or median, and why? You just answer what we should use. What is the correct measure of center to report for this distribution? And I believe this is the one people want me to do. Some of them are very repetitive. They have the same starts. But what should we use for measure of center because this is skewed? What should we use for measure of center because this is skewed? You just look because it's skewed. So I found it. What should we use for measure of center? The median. And it's skewed. There we go. We got it. Let's do more. Drop more questions. If you're working on a question, just drop it in the chat. Like, that looks a little tricky. That is a little tricky. But we are doing a university teacher. It might be the email one. Is it the email one? The person who said university teacher? Whichever question you're working on, just drop it, and we will do it. I think it's the email one. Let's see. Mode of the data set is... Oh, I think for that one, yeah. If it's that one, yeah. I think so. Yeah, there's one mode for that distribution. Yeah, there's a similar one. Is it the email one? University teacher sent out emails. They want to know the shape of it. Those are good. Those look tricky. Here's another one where you just have to... Body fat, 250 men. Got it. We might see that one next. Oh, we did. Literally. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, a university teacher. I am a university teacher, and I can't find... We'll keep going backwards after this, so we will find that question for you, the person who asked it. We'll do this one real quick right here. Okay. So... A meteorologist, you got it. Let me grab that real quick. Thank you, Porter. Good to see you here. Yours has more. Let me know if yours what more it has, and we'll do that here. Yours says more than this. It might be more parts. We'll check it out. Like more questions. We'll find the rest of this one. Maybe there's another version. A study on body fat of 250 men collected 12 body measurements of 12 body parts, as well as the percent of fat the men carried. The accompanying dot plot shows bicep measurements in centimeters. Would you report the standard deviation or IQR? Now, before we click the button, we're going to look to see if this is what or what. We're talking about measures of spread. Oh, thank you so much. Is that Texas A&M? Or from... Dude, 5,000 points, Jacob. Everyone gets some W's for Jacob in the class. So the big concept we're talking right now is going to be standard deviation and IQR. And with this right here, those are measures of spread. More questions in the chat. These are measures of spread, how spread out is the data. And with how spread out the data is, we need to know if it's skewed or normal. Now, this is a tricky one, but I'm going to draw over this. Okay, before you talk about Monster Man right there, here's how I'm drawing this. You ready? Careful. And I could get this wrong. You never know. W. Jacob getting us some big points. Okay, that's how I drew it. Skewed or not skewed? Skewed or not skewed? I'm going to copy this question from Porter right here. Skewed or not skewed? Skewed or not skewed? Not skewed. Everyone hear that? Not skewed. And since it's not skewed, what are we going to use? Standard deviation or IQR? Since we just decided not skewed, which one are we going to use? Since we decided not skewed, we are going to use what? Cross your fingers. Don't worry. Here, wait. Got some slides. That's wrong slides. Since we decided not skewed, let's throw some points. We love answers here. We're going to use the standard deviation. Now, remember, we're talking measures of spread right here. So if you're talking measures of center, then you talk about the mean or median based on shape. So we are going to pick the standard deviation because it's more symmetric. Yes. Okay, let's go check out that other question. Thank you, everyone. All those answers, you got to like Dumbledore those answers out of your head. You just got to like answers. You stuff your head full of right answers and you get all the wrong answers out by just saying them out loud. I think there's one more about like the 250 men bicep measurement. We'll find that and just do it here real quick. So we're going to pen that on. Here it is right here, the other version of it. The right gives the number. Oh, I think this is another question, right, Presley? I'll grab it right here and put it in the stream. Okay, let's do this question, the other version of it, another time, an author collected. Thank you right there, Lily. We got a lot of questions. I love this. So here we are with the other version of this question, and let's do it. It says, a study of body fat on 250 men and collected measurements. We all read that. And it measured their bicep. We have a dot plot. 85 of the 250 men have a bicep close to what? That's very normal. This is very normal symmetric. 85 had a bicep close to what? You see all the dots. 85 had a bicep close to what measurement? You're helping me solve this. 85 of them-ish had a bicep close to what measurement? 13. Most, which means are between like probably like 11 to 15. There's some outliers. 12 to 14 or 11 to 15. Let's see. That looks 15 to 16. No, 15 to 16 is over here. The other one was down here. It's somewhere between here and here. So you look at which one encompasses 13. But there are as small as 10 inches. How many there are there? You got to count the dots. There's 2 dots as small as 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That dot plus show you how many there are. So 2 and 5. There's 2 as small as 10 and 5 as large. And that should do it. Good stuff. Next one. We haven't found the university teacher one yet, but we are just rocking and rolling through these. If you see a number, I'll show you where the numbers are at. If you're like, Brian, number 3. Do number 3. Number 3 is a little tricky. We are going to find a university professor. That one's been on the board for a little bit here, so we need to find that one. Thank you for the person who asked it. It starts out a university teacher, and if you see the number, let me know. I'm just scrolling through till we find it. I wish I could just search through them. That'd be really cool. No search feature. Oh, Colin, good to see you. You are so kind with your words. I will say this. I heard someone gamified his whole class in Haslam, and I've made it my mission to meet this guy. Apparently he's made like a D&D campaign. So shout out Professor in Haslam making his class into a D&D campaign. That I haven't even played D&D, and it's gotten me want to... Where am I missing this? Is it chapter 23? Was it 23? How did I miss that? Let's do 23 right here. 2015. I've got a lot of questions marked, but tell me if you saw yours, especially. Okay, so this is the 2113 mark. I know it does sound nice, Reptar. Okay, and in 2015, this is a tricky one. All right, here we go. Look at what we got right here. Histograms, pie charts, that's called a scatter plot. The types of variables let you know how you should display it. So just go with me here for a moment. The center, you got it. Go with this one right here. Since this is how many people are using cannabis, we'd have to say how many people in Belgium are using cannabis. Is that a quantitative or categorical variable? If we are going to ask people how many people in your country, we go and we say how many people in Belgium, or what percent of people? Is that quantitative or categorical? If we say what percent of people in your country, is that like how much of a percentage? How much? Quant. So since it's quantitative, which graphics are possible? We're only doing one variable, and I haven't taught you that. We will teach you scatter plots. But since it's only one variable, which of these is the right answer? Or between what and what right now? You only have one quantitative variable, so we should use a what? Mine was question 1. Oh, yours is, we'll do that. We'll go back to question 1 right after this. So which of these graphics should we use? Because you said quantitative. Look at the... Use a what? This is a good review. You say, what am I learning? Since it's a quantitative variable, we should use a what? Look up there in the corner. There's multiple answers, but one of them was on the screen. Since it's a quantitative variable, you should use a what to display this. Yes, John, is that I hate histograms? Don't worry, I don't like them too some days. You're right, histograms. These are histograms. Now let's ask this. Is there a lot of data around 40 or not a lot of data around 40? Do you see how this histogram right here has a lot of data around 40, maybe high 30s, low 40s? This one has only a little bit of data around 40 and some data in the 10s. So do you see, let's see right here. Do I see a lot of data around 40? Like, do you see a lot of numbers? Yes or no? Do you see a lot of numbers around 40? If we see a lot, it should be like, this is where there's like 12 observations close to 40. No, I only see like that and that. So there's only like 2 or 3 observations. It should be like a third somewhere on here. There, that one, Monaco. So which one is it? Was there a lot of data around 40? Or is there not a lot of data? Yeah, let's do Brielle. We're going to do that one next. I'm going to find it. How does it start, Brielle? Give me the exact start of it. I have a university teacher. It is answer B. Make sure I have the exact start of it. Which statement best describes this distribution? Oh, let's see. This is I'm a little scared. Okay, so it's this one. I don't know if that's bimodal. It definitely has a lot around 20. Unimodal with most countries exceeding 30. No, most countries are not. So it's not unimodal with most exceeding 30. There's not really 3 distinct peaks. Bimodal with a center around 17. There's not countries near 80. Bimodal with a center, I think it's this one. I don't love the way they're doing that. Let me double check. A university. Oh, thank you. Is that in the homework, Brielle? Is that in the homework? Let me know if you're in the homework or the quiz, because it might only be in the homework, and I can do it too. But yeah, we'll make sure we do it. I do know that one. It says quiz, Brielle, 1,000 points. Thank you so much. It is a bit bimodal. Yeah, I think we got it. Woo! I wish they mentioned where the second mode was at. They're talking mode there and mode there. Let's go find this university email one. Thank you, Brielle, right there. We're going to find this. We got to find this. We can't stop. We won't stop. We're going to find it. We found it. 1,000 points. I found it. Okay. What kind of monster man we dealing with in this universe? What kind of monster man we got on the screen right now? You're welcome, Brielle. Thank you for asking again. You earned all those points right there. Please ask, and I will do. We are dealing with a right-skewed monster man, right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the monster man is. That's not a monster man. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. And huge shout-outs. I want to say this right now. Is anyone just like getting their questions done right now and you feel good about it? Like you're like, okay, I'm reviewing, I'm hearing these things again, and I'm seeing how to get these answers. Just keep coming to office hours. Come to office hours and say, hey, Brian, do this question. You say it anytime in chat. Thank you right there, Presley. And you get more points. You get points for being here. You say, Brian, do this question. And then you can even like run away and like be like, I'll watch it later. You can. Some people do. As a right-skewed monster, man. We see a lot of students email 0 or 1 times, very few up towards 21. So the histogram is definitely right-skewed, so we're down between A and C. And we see that most students only send about 1 or 2 emails, with there being an outlier around 21. And I think that should do it. And we aced it. A meteorologist preparing. Awesome. There's like 1 or 2 semesters where I don't advertise them enough, and then like no one comes, and I just sit here and do nothing. Sad times. Where's my happy? And then some semesters we have awesome times like this. We're doing the meteorologist. Here we are, meteorologist preparing. Let me take the timestamp on this. Question 1. Oh yeah, let's do question 1 next. You got it, Presley. Thank you so much. Question 1 coming up next. Okay. A meteorologist preparing a talk on global warming compiled a list of weekly low temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit he observed at his southern home last year. The coldest temperature was 36 Fahrenheit, but he inadvertently recorded in Celsius value of 2 degrees. Assuming that he correctly listed all the other temperatures, explain how this error will affect his center, mean, and median, and the measures of spread. Okay. So I want you to pretend you work for a company. Now, at this company, there are only 5 people working. 1 person makes 0, 1 person makes 0, 1 person makes 0, 1 person makes 0, and 1 person makes $5 million. What is the average salary at this company? 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 1 person makes 5 million. There's 5 people. What is the average salary? For some points in the chat. What is the average salary? $1 million. You got it, Porter. And the median would be here. So this is the median. Now, what do you notice about the median? The median is what? Like, let's say this person starts to make like $50 million. Now the average salary is $10 million. $500 million. Now the average salary is $100 million. The median is what of outliers? The median is what to outliers? Huge note to have. The median is what because of outliers? Is impacted or not impacted by outliers? The median is or is not impacted by outliers? It's independent. It's not impacted by outliers. You know what else is not impacted by outliers? This measure. What measure is Brian visually drawing in right now where we have the middle-ish 50% of the data? The middle 50% of the data does not include the extremes like the mins or the maxes. And when you look at the range of this, we're talking about the what, which is also not impacted by outliers. This other metric is not impacted by outliers, the IQR. So the IQR and the median are not impacted by outliers. But what are impacted by outliers? What 2 concepts I'm writing on the screen right now are impacted by outliers? What 2 concepts are impacted by outliers? Because one of them is derived from the other. What 2 concepts are impacted by outliers? The mean and the standard deviation. Both of those, the mean and standard deviation, are impacted by outliers because the standard deviation is calculated from the mean. So when you calculate a typical distance from the mean, if things are far away, because the standard deviation is how are things typically spread from the mean, outliers create a much bigger spread. But when you do the IQR, it's just the middle 50% of the data, and it doesn't include outliers. So outliers do not impact median and IQR. So the mean will be lower because he recorded it too low. So that it's going to, outliers pull the mean in their direction. The median will not be affected. The range, which is the min and the max, will be higher because it was the lowest temperature and he then recorded an even lower one. So that's going to push the range out. The IQR will not change because outliers do not impact the IQR, and the standard deviation will be larger because he's spreading the data out more. Outliers increase the standard deviation. Any questions on this one? This is a pretty big theory one, to where the mean and the standard deviation are impacted by outliers. The min would also impact the range of the data. So outliers can impact the min or the max. So I could put over here things that are impacted by outliers. I should also put the min and the max. And if the min and the max are hit by outliers, what else is hit? If the min and the max are impacted by outliers, obviously what else can be altered by outliers? So if the min and the max can be impacted by outliers, what else can be impacted? because it's derived from the min and the max. If the min and the max can be impacted by outliers, then this can, the range, yep. And then you have the things that are not impacted, the IQR and the median. Yep, we're timestamping all of them. You got it. The timestamps are here. I put all the timestamps in. Every question is timestamped. So if you miss one, want it to be slowed down, they are all in here. And we got question number 1 coming up next right here. Thank you, Rylan. All the questions are timestamped. Ooh. So this is a relative frequency table. Let me take the start of it. The table to the right. You're welcome. The table to the right, to the right. Let me take a nap. I want a stocking barrel burger. That's what I want. I have a late class tonight. It's gonna be a late night. Okay, we are now going to turn this into a relative frequency table. Relative frequency tables either show us percents or proportions. We'll do that one coming up here, Maya. You got it. So all we're going to do is sum up this table. You know what? We can do it in Excel to make it easier. We're going to go to this little box right here and go to copy to Excel, or you could open Excel. And when we copy to Excel, we're going to hit Control-C or Command-C to copy it. And then we're going to click Done. And inside of Excel, we're going to hit Control-N or Command-N for a new data sheet. Now we're going to hit Control-V or Command-V to paste. The data has now been pasted in. If you go down here to the bottom, we can write equals sum. And when we double click it, we get the chance to work with the formula. We're simply going to hold and drag to include all the cells we want to sum up to find the total. Now we're just going to write one formula, technically. We're going to write equals and click the cell to get the value inside of it. Now we're going to do divide and take the lower cell and click it. And this has created the formula right here. The equals creates a formula in Excel that then evaluates into whatever it is mathematically. All we're going to do now is double click this little tiny box, that little tiny box down there in the corner, double click, and it breaks because we have to do a reference. Dollar sign. You have to put in these dollar signs. I'm breaking it. The dollar sign makes it so it's a static reference on cell B. I think I've done something incorrect. There we go. It is now a static reference on the cell down there. And now when we double click this, it'll go right here. What should all these percentages sum up to if I've done it correctly? And I'll show that process again. If I've done this correctly, what will all these percentages sum up to? To double check my work, all these percentages should sum up to what? If I've done this correctly, all these percentages should sum up to what? If I've done this correctly, all these percentages should sum up to what? 100% or 1. And you can change the decimals right on here by going here and adding deleting decimals. Does it want it as a percent, or what does it want it as? Does it want it as? It wants it as a percent. So we're going to do this. We're going to do the 2 decimals. And then we're going to say equals, and then do the cell times 100. And then we're going to double click this again. And this time we only need the one reference. And we're going to delete down the cells. So once again, here's the formula for this cell. You could write them all out individually. And you can also just add them up and do it in the calculator the old-fashioned way by taking 1535 and divide by 12210, and then times that by 100 and round to 2 decimals right there. Okay, so I'm going to simply copy these over. I'm putting it on the other screen so I can see it. But are we pretty good on this question? Tell me how we're doing. It might have another part to it. I can't remember. It wants 2 decimals. Good. 2930. This is a good one to make a math error on, because I always make one. Always, always, always. That should do it. We got it right. Yay, we did it. Good question. You're welcome. And please tell me if I ever go too fast. I do that. An investigation. Is it me? It's Mia, right? I want to make sure I say it correctly. Okay, let's look at the investigation. Investigation. The pie chart. I might see a movie. We don't have that one. The accompanying histograms. We haven't done that one yet. Well, no, let's say yeah. University teacher. Oh, here's another university teacher. Well, skewed right. That's why no one's asking this one. It's just unimodal skewed to the right. If you get that one, you're like, yes. Like, free question. It's an easy one. There's a few on here that are just very basic, easy questions. Please ask more questions. We'll keep going right here. I'm probably getting them all done. An investigation. If you see a number, just tell me the number. Where is it? Sometimes I think these numbers don't exist. CDC? Yeah, let's do this. There, you have it on the list. Yeah, oh wait, let's do it right now. Here it is. Okay. Then we'll try to find investigation compiled. You had it on the list here. Okay. Here we are with the CDC one. Thank you for asking. Especially if you're here and you ask about it, I try to do it as quickly as possible. Later quizzes have less questions that we pull from, but yeah, here we are. CDC question. It's a weird way they're asking this, but when you have pie charts and bar charts, you can't have overlap between categories. You could technically collect data with, you should do it as multiple variables. Like, did somebody have a lung problem? Yes, no. But if you're like, what is the primary cause of death or something like that, you would only mark one thing. So there's no probability of overlap here. Yes, because there is no probability of overlap. It is a like valid way to collect data in different categories. Categories should be separate. Just the way when you ask categories, they should not have overlap between them. What percent of deaths are not listed here? You could copy it and do it. You could use Excel again, or we could just add them up. Let's hope we know how to do math. I think I do. That's always what's in question here. Today, we've got nothing wrong. We're on a hot streak here. So now what do we do that this is the amount of deaths listed? This is the percent of deaths listed. What should I do now to find out the percent not listed? So this is the percent listed. What should I do to find out the percent not listed, which is 37.6? What should I do to find out the percent not listed? What should I do to find the percent not listed? This is the percent listed from the table by summing up all the values. What should I do to find the percent not listed? Yep, you got it. Great job, John, right there. You got it. There it is. Throw some points in the chat. We're going to take that, copy, paste, drop in, and then we just look to see which one has the other category, which is about 37%. And there it is. And we got another 100. Okay. I think we're looking for an investigation compiled. Yeah, it's weird the way they phrase it. It's weird. Throw some points for that. I had a student in office hours being like, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, yeah, they're weird. They're weird. Not like cool weird. They're like the weird where you're like, I have to go home. That's my Pearson for you. Sorry, my Pearson. They'll never see this. Okay. An investigation compiled information about recent non-military plane weird crashes the causes to the extent that they can be determined are summarized in the table to the right. So once again, we have a relative frequency table. This is categorical data, important stuff to know. We always look at our graphic right here where we have frequency tables or relative frequency tables for one categorical question, like what was the cause of the plane crash? And is it reasonable to include that weather or mechanical failures are about 30% of the errors? Probably. I wish they gave, why give letters and then not use them? Weather and mechanical failures. So here we are with weather and mechanical failures. Yes, 30%. There we go. Yes, because there's no possibility of overlap between the two categories right there. This is an interesting thing that happens with tables. What can happen is numbers will sometimes round up. Like if you have values in a table, like the following, you have data where it's like 38.6 and let's go here, 51.6. And then you have the following. So what is remainder? So 100 minus 51.6 minus 38.6. You get 9.8. Ooh. So is that right? No, something happened wrong. Double check. I guess that's right. That would be right. It is right. Okay. So what happens if you round these numbers to one decimal? What happens if you round these numbers to one decimal? You get the following. You get 39, and you get 52, and you get a 10. What do these numbers add up to right here? Well, on the left, you get 100 on the dot. On the right, you get 101. This can just happen with the way things round. When you round things, it's not carrying enough precision, we say in the data. You don't need to know the word precision, but precision is how many decimals you carry. So they weren't very precise on how they marked all the data. So it's probably just rounding errors, likely, or they messed up. An extra percent, I think that's going to be right there. So it's there. Then we see a bar chart down here. We see a lot in A, so it's got to be A or B, one of those two. We also see a lot in EF, and we do not see a lot in D. So that eliminates this one because there's a lot in D. This is just the counts of the observation in each bin, and we've not got it. Yes, because there's no, is this a proper read display? It has to be this one. There must be, no, the data are given to the nearest, yeah. What did I get wrong? The data are given to the nearest 100%. If circle calculators were rounded up, I even did that. You see how I rounded up right here? This is what it's talking about. I showed it conceptually, Matt Pearson. I explained it. I conceptually explained it. If they're rounded up, that's it right there. So that's our first one wrong today. It happens. If you get it wrong, but don't get it wrong, because then you have to retake it. But I showed it conceptually. I did it. The right gives the number. The right gives the number. What other things do we have? More questions? An author collected. The right gives the number. An author collected. Here we are. We're running out of questions. Give any question you have that you're doing, and we can get it done. There are some similar ones. 42, 23. Okay. An author collected the time in minutes it took them to run 4 miles on various courses during a 10-year period. This one's weird because it matters how old they are. That's one of the factors that would vary how they run. And so let's look at the histogram. What kind of monster man are we dealing with? For 1,000 points, I need to know about this monster man. No one gets monster man questions wrong on my tests. What kind of monster man are we looking with? 1,000 points in the chat if you get it. Hopefully I haven't lost everyone yet. Right skew, you got that 1,000 points. There we go. There's one theory question on this that always gets me. Let's see if I get it wrong today. Great job, John, right there in the chat. Everyone's saying right skew. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. And I always write right on here just so people know we're talking about the right side, which is the positive side, and this is the high side. So that is right skew, positive skew, right to the high, left to the low. And with this right here, the distribution is definitely skewed to the right, and it's definitely unimodal. We see one peak right there that is unimodal. And with this, it is centered around, well, wherever the mode is. So it's centered around 30. That looks to be like a big tooth right there. And so it's centered around 30. That's the only one that includes 30. 30 to 31? Yeah. Probably. I think 30 to 31. They're getting a little mean here. That's where the biggest peak is. So that's the 30 to 31 area. So a little tricky on that. With most observations between probably 29 to 32 or so. Wow, look at that. Just, wow. Wow. And so now, this one's a bit weird. And it's probably, over a 10-year period, the runner may have slowed down due to age or injury. They should have said a runner in their 40s. It's like getting too real for a moment. So I'm probably going to get slow. Even if you're training, it's hard to, if you're in your 20s and you've trained a lot and you're running like a 15-minute 5K or something like that, it's not like in your 40s you're going to be running like a 12-minute 5. I don't know, maybe you will be. Maybe you will. I don't know. Who am I to say? And it's easier to run slower than it is to run faster, so that's why you see the right skew. Like these races, they were just like, I'm going to take a break today. My body says no. And then, or I'm getting older. It happens. There we go. So that's got it. It's easier to run slower than faster, and also probably the right skew nature of it's due to as you get older, you get a little bit slower. We only got one more. Is there any other questions? We got one more. I might need to do that other. Oh, let's see. Done a lot of these so far. Look at all those. The right gives the number. See, that one's so easy. No one wants to do that one. That one's a little tricky. Yeah, homework question. Let's do that next. It might be on here too. Drop the homework question. It's sometimes on the quiz too. You're welcome, Presley. Excellent work. Thank you, Presley. I feel bad when people don't do the assignment because then they're like, I was stuck. And I'm like, no, just come and ask and we'll talk through it. I'll make a video. We can do this one. I don't see the right gives the number. I don't see it. A lot of people ask Gretzky. Maybe I'll do that one. Would you expect the distribution variable? Oh, yeah. And I might keep this one out. I might bring up my video of it. Is the pie chart to the right? They might have meant the pie chart to the right. It's like question 7. The author collected time in minutes. We just, is it the race one, Mia? We just did that one right there. We just did it. Is it the author collected time in minutes for the race for running 4 miles or something? Like we just did it, I think. Or unless it's a different version. Tell me if it's a different version. I'm gonna pull up the video so we can keep this on the screen. And you can rewind this video live to rewatch it. Or let me know if you're stuck. Let's go out here. Here we go. Question 7. Okay. I'm pulling up the question right now. Is it really going to be bad quality video? Okay. So this first question right here. What? Why is it doing that? Okay. This first question is the number of speeding tickets people have. Yeah, it's very imaginary. So how many speeding tickets do you think a normal college student has? Don't worry if you're not normal, but the average college student maybe has about how many speeding tickets this year, let's say. Pretend they're a freshman and probably not driving that much. The average college student probably has about how many speeding tickets? How many speeding tickets? Or I should mark this in the video too while we're talking about it. The average college student, maybe 1 or 2. Yeah, probably a lot of 1 or 2s. Maybe some zeros, right? Like at most 1 or 2, right? So when we think about this right here, college students usually don't have a lot of speeding tickets. So they usually don't have a lot of speeding tickets. And because of that, the distribution would kind of be centered around maybe 1 or 2 or 0 with a lot of students, and it'd be unimodal, and there'd be some people on the high side, so it'd be skewed. Does that make sense what you're seeing here? Like, this is the way to draw the distribution with a lot of students only getting like 0, 1, or 2, and then it's very skewed to the right because there's probably like a few students who have some extreme values right there. So there'd be some students with extreme values getting very, very high values of parking tickets. This next one is probably one of my least favorite ones. It's about the PGA Golf Tour or whatever golf tour we're looking at. Now, when you think about golf, a lot of people might get around 70 in a golf game. I've done these questions a few times, you can't tell. And when you get around 70, that's where, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that's why it's, you have to know a little bit of golf. Videos like loading in the background. Is it going to load? It'd be great if I could show it. But think about this. Do you think a lot of people are going to have awesome scores, or a lot of people, like, is there going to be a lot of people with awesome scores or a lot of people with average scores? Awesome scores are lower in golf. There's going to be a lot of people with awesome scores or a lot of people with average scores. Mostly average. So if there's a lot of people with average scores and only a few awesome scores, this is skewed to the what? What kind of monster man are we dealing with here? If there's a lot of people around the average and then only a few people with like awesome scores, this is skewed to the what? It's skewed to the what? To the left. We got a monster man going on. Did I draw my monster man? Monster man's going to be sad if I didn't do it. Yeah, he is sad. And with that in mind right here, skewed to the left, it's because the tail goes to the left. Now, what also follows the skew? What other concept follows the skew? What concept follows the skew? What concept follows the skew? This follows the skew. You gotta see that to know what it is. The mean. The mean follows the skew. The mean goes in the direction of the skew. So there'll be more players above the mean because the mean's going to follow the skew. Does that make sense? So when you look at the answers right here, it's definitely unimodal, skewed, and let's see here. I'm showing that the median is higher and more players will be above the mean. So does that make sense? More players will be above the mean. I'm showing that more than 50% are above the mean because the median is above the mean. So this is where 50% is at. And then more than 50% is above the mean. So more golfers will score above the mean. So this is female babies and their weight. The average baby probably weighs about 7.5 pounds. And knowing that in mind right here with the average baby weighing about 7.5 pounds, then you could say that some babies are a little bit more and some babies are a little bit less. So tell me two things about this distribution. It is what, and what. Like it's what we call a normal curve. So this is the concept of a normal curve. It's what two concepts? The two concepts of the normal curve are what? In my horrible handwriting. The two concepts of a normal curve are what? We draw the normal curve. Unimodal symmetric. Some babies weigh a little bit more. Some weigh a little bit less. A lot are falling asleep. Is around 7.5. Don't worry, it's not you, it's me. I'm doing PhD. So it's unimodal symmetric with a lot of data around 7.5 or so. Most babies will have an average weight. Some weigh a little bit more, some weigh a little bit less. And then if we talk about hair length, ooh, nice. We got another one coming up right here. Our clerk's entering his data in sales sheet. Let's do it on Mia. You got it. I think Mia, did you get that other question done, Mia? I think Mia got the other one done. So now, when we talk about hair length, what is the lowest hair length you could have? The lowest possible hair length you could have is what length of hair? Think mathematical length of hair. The lowest mathematical numeric value of length of hair could be what? Bald. And that's what that dude is down there. So we go down to the lowest possible length of hair. You can see it all the way down there. And you can go to all the different lengths of hair that exist in Brian's drawing right here. So there is no upper limit to hair length. There's just a lower limit. Then you generally have what I don't know, like I have, I don't know, and then my wife has, but it doesn't matter. I've had my hair to my shoulders. You can grow your hair as long as you want, short as you want. I don't care. You do you. That's what we say here. And so with this in mind right here, we actually got two monster men hanging out together. So here's our two monster men, and they're definitely what? The two monster men are definitely what? Because they're looking back, always looking at that what? Two monster men, and they're both what? Got monster man number 1 and monster man number 2. So we got some bimodality. Skewed. And that should do it. I think, Lindsay, let me know if you didn't get it, but I think you should be good, right? I'm just talking more here in the video. I think that should do it. That should have all the answers. It's like men typically have a length. Females typically, doesn't mean you must, but typically. Okay. A clerk entering salary. Let's do it. How many of these can we do? A clerk entering salary. We don't have any more questions. What other questions can we get? I'm always tempted to drink another Red Bull. Tempted. I shouldn't, but I'm tempted. A clerk entering salary into a company's spreadsheet accidentally put an extra 0 in the boss's salary. Lucky boss. Listing it as $2 million instead of $200,000. What will this impact? Well, let's automatically highlight in red things it will impact, and in green, things it will not impact. Or maybe that's confusing. So when it says, what will this impact? Does anyone know certain things that will be impacted by outliers? So by doing this right here, 2 million, I'm assuming, or they want us to assume, that this is now an outlier. So what concepts do outliers impact? And we'll write down here for red for impact. So if I circle it in red, it means it is now impacted. Or I can do this. Nah, it's going to be hard to see. What concepts are impacted by extreme values? And just think, would you want to now get the mean salary or median salary? Which one of those would have changed drastically? The mean is impacted by outliers. What concept is derived from the mean? What concept is derived from the mean? Do you see it? What concept is derived from the mean? What concept is derived from the mean? It's part of the equation because it's a typical distance from the mean. It's on average how far are things away from the mean. What concept is derived from the mean? It's on the screen. Which means it's also impacted by outliers. So if the mean is impacted by outliers, anything calculated from the mean is impacted by outliers. A standard deviation, great job, Reptar, right there. So the standard deviation is impacted. Would the range, because the boss is going to have an extreme high value, would the range be impacted by outliers? Yes or no in the chat. Would the range be impacted by outliers? Would the range be impacted by outliers? Would the range? Oh, yeah, because it's the extreme values change it. So the median and the IQR are the only ones not impacted. There we go. And that's why median and IQR go together. They're kind of resistant to outliers. Does that make sense? We always do median and IQR together and mean and standard deviation together. The range is kind of its own thing, but we should be good right here. So, assuming is above, yeah. The median, oh my gosh. The mean will be too large. That's probably right. Assuming the boss's true salary is above the median will be the same. The median will be the same. Key assumption. The range will be larger. The IQR will likely be the same. And the standard deviation will be larger. There we go. So it would make the mean larger. It would also make the standard deviation larger. It's not going to impact the IQR. It's going to impact the range by making the range larger. And they should have also put that down there at the bottom, assuming that they're above the median, it won't change the IQR. Because technically, if like the average salary is like 2 million or something, then they could have, like, if the boss, it could technically impact it, but it should say the boss who makes the most money in the company accidentally has a 0, and then everything would be theoretically. There's no way you could theoretically make this question not work. But you could come up with like, oh, the boss was like, I work for the most rich company in the world. Most rich? Sure. Other questions? There's ways to make this theoretically not work. To like, you'd be like, but what if? Random question in class today. Didn't you say there was like a link to chapter 1 review or something like that? I think Mubot was supposed to drop the link. Oh, I might have been Mubot's dropping some randomness right there. Here's test 1 review. And then I need to put the book online. And actually, we can do a test right here. Let's see if I can find something right here. Let me find this. Oop. I am like gonna sneeze I feel like I have to sneeze, and then I'm like, I'm gonna sneeze, and I'm like, nope, don't sneeze. Where is it? Where is it? Did you do the one with the accompanying histogram? Yeah, the actual number of traffic rate tallies. Let's do the one next. You got it. I'm gonna try to find one thing here, and then we'll do that one. One thing. One way. Okay, and I'll drop this if you haven't seen this. Where is this? I have it on my home computer. I can never find it on this computer. Found it. No, that's faculty handbook. Where is it? Where are you? Little chill music. 1 minute or so. Sometimes I hate the way emails show up. You just can't like find what you're looking for. Book test. I think I found it. Found it. All right, let's get this one up. So here's a resource. I'm going to add it. We've been working on this resource and getting it finalized. Oh, I didn't send that out. Why do I not send announcements? Who's gone to this link right now? I'm going to ask a new question. You're welcome, Lily, and then we're going to do this next one right here. But this right here is a total, you can ask it questions. We're going to ask it a question here in a moment, then we're going to take the next question here. I'm adding it to Canvas, and we're going to do add app, and let's say AI book. And there we go there. And it should be added in under the navigation now. It should be there, AI book. There it is. It's on there. So you can go chat with me and you can say, tell me about mosaic plots. What are they? So it should work. And it gives you a summary on what a mosaic plot is, what we were just covering. It even talked about no relationship, weak relationships, and all this stuff right here. And then you can even click the notes right here and it'll bring you to notes that I've created. It's only taking from these notes. So it's not taking like random online information. It's only taking the information I have, which is what we were talking about today, like the marginal distributions, the marginal distribution, all these different things. And you can switch around the axes. I didn't mention that, but they are bivariate, categorical. We talked about this today. Bivariate, categorical. So you can quiz yourself and go over this. And this is a resource anyone can use online if you're from another thing or whatever. Remember I was talking about like test A, test B, pass, fail. I do the same examples all the time. Then I've got videos. You have to watch the video to progress. Oh no. Oh, that's not going to be good. That's really not going to be. But let me try this. We should have this now available. How many tests are there in Stat 201? So it's not doing the syllabus. We were trying to make it so it could do the syllabus. What percent of my grade is my Pearson? For some reason, it's not scraping that. I need to show. Yeah, it's not doing it. And then I don't think it's going to. Yeah, it's doing everything but the syllabus. So the syllabus is online for this, and then for some reason it's not doing the syllabus. I don't know why, because we're trying to get to do that. So I made a syllabus page here. It does everything but the syllabus. It's a prototype. I don't know why. Everything but the syllabus. Okay, let's do the question here. Woo! It's something we're working on. You gotta make it work one of these days, right? Okay. Let's do the question here. Wait, that was on. Do you have accompanying histogram shows the annual number of traffic fatalities? Okay. There's a humming noise. 102, 43. I like a random humming noise. I love it. Traffic. Any more questions? Drop them in the chat. It is open question time. Open question time. Okay. I didn't find it yet. Should be easy to find. Wait, was that it? Nope. Oh, it's not my monitor. I think we found it. So this question right here, the accompanying histogram shows traffic fatalities per year. And here is the data. If you notice, it has a peak in the 80s. And then the data is also collected weirdly, where it's every 5 years for the start of it. And then it goes on 1990, starts being yearly data. And it kind of starts to decline. So you can see how this data right here in 1975, 1980 are where the gaps, there's gaps in where they collected the data, and then it was uniformly collected from there out, meaning flat every year. You can see the high amount of deaths over here, which we saw in the original data. I don't think we can get them both up. Oh, we can. Look at that. I can do that. I've been doing this one for a decade. And you can see the observations over here, which are from 1975, 1980. And those are the two observations in the highest bin. You can't really see the time order nature of it. I wish we could, but we can't. And with this in mind right here, how many years are included in the highlighted bars? You have to type the numbers of the years, 1975 and 1980. And they do comma 1980. I did a period. That's not a comma. Which years are included in the highlighted bars? How many years are included? Which years? There we go. What do these histograms taken together say about it? The average number, nope. The total number of fatalities, no, we don't know about between. And I think it's this right here. Wait, can be assumed? No, we can't assume that. The average number of passengers car fatalities per year from 90. We don't know that. The total number of car per year between 90 there have been fewer passenger car fatalities more recently. Yeah, we can see that. It's not really even the histograms. It's the data that you can see it going down. The histogram doesn't really, well, oh, that's what, okay, because they're saying, if you look at this bin over here where these data show you the highest amounts, everything's been lower since then. So that's what it does show. Still, you should show a time plot for that. Time plots are the visualization of two quantitative variables showing change over time, special case scatter plot. Any more questions? We could probably do the other data one. Was it this one? No. Any more? Okay. Do this one. So many of the questions. The data in the accompanying table. Okay. We're at the 106:23 mark. And for these right here, I highly suggest using Excel. And there's a lot of ways to do them. They're not that bad with Excel. You just go right here, you copy the table, and you go to the little button over there, little button, boop, and then you go copy to clipboard, and then you go Command-C or Control-C. Now, we could do these by hand. They would take much longer. But in Excel, we're going to hit Control-N for New Data Table. You can also do File New Data Table or Command-N on a Mac. We're going to hit Control-V or Command-V on a Mac or PC. Now the data's in here. We're going to do something first. We're going to go to the Data button and go to Sort lowest to highest. Now, with this, we have 21 observations. That means the median would be the middle number. Because if you have 21, it's an odd amount. And with an odd amount of numbers, there is a middle number. So you can see right here where we talk about the median way, way back. When there's an odd amount of numbers, there is a middle number. When there's an even amount, you have to average them. So with 21, think 10 plus 10 plus 1. So you break it up into tens. Here's the bottom 50% of the data. And here's the top 50%, making this the median. I'm going to do a nice little light purple right there. Then down here, we probably have about where this is going to be Q1, which is where you've gone through 25%, and maybe somewhere in here, it's hard to say. That's probably going to be where Q3 is. Now, I'm kind of guessing. This is the max, obviously. So you got the min right here, the minimum value, the Q1 by my guess, the median, because it has to be because it is the middle number. About the Q3, it looks a little weirdish right there. About Q3, and then the max. But you can find out the answers for certain with this by doing the following. Let's go right here and do equals and do quartile. Now, if you go to equals quartile and click it, it's an old function. We're going to highlight the rows we want to analyze. And then if you type comma 1, it gets you the 25th percentile. It might be hard to read, but this says the 25th. And we were correct that that is the 25th percentile. And now we can take the same code. We're going to copy it and drop it in this cell. We're just going to change this to 3 for the third quartile or 75th percentile. And we were correct that that is Q3. Now be careful. Yours might be different. It might have decimals. I kind of lucked out that it's 83 right there. The median, put the numbers in order. Think, well, we could just do this. To get the median, it can also be, you can do median or you could do quartiles. Because the median, if you think of in terms of quartiles, about tomorrow, yeah, Brandon, let me know. There's the median right there. You can swing by it on your MacBook. It should work on a MacBook. Is it a very old MacBook? You can also swing by the library. The library has PCs with Excel on it. Is it like an older MacBook, Brandon? Let me know. You can see the code right there to get the median. MacBook Air. It should. Have you tried going through the apps when you download it? What does it say? Is it like your operating system can't update? Let me know the issue you're having. We're gonna do average now. Average. Boop. And then you just highlight. Boop. There's the average, and you can drop it down to 2 decimals by going to the delete the decimals, and then the range is just max minus min. So the range is going to be equal to 112, which is max minus the min. And the median, so we'll write range right there. We'll do average. We'll do median. Did you check out the video? I'll show you the video here in a moment. Have you watched the video where I went through the steps and how to download it? Have you seen that yet? Have you? Don't worry if you haven't seen it, just let me know and I'll show you it. Now we're gonna find the IQR, which is the range of the middle 50%. So we just go here equals Q3 minus Q1. Oh no, thank you. Thank you for being here. 1,000 points. Yeah, it's a conversation here. So this is Q3 minus Q1. And I think we're good. I think that's got it all. This is the point of these office hours. Just you come in and just ask questions. Say, hey, Brian, I can't do this. What's going on? How do I do this? That's literally it. If people don't come in, we don't get questions asked. And then I say, I'm sorry. I was trying to help you out. I didn't even show off my orb runner score. I'm going to put that in the Discord after this. I got almost 200,000. The mean. Play some more orb runner. The mean, which is the average, is 70.29. The median is going to be 53. The Q1 is 35. The Q3 is 83. The range is going to be 197. Yeah, it's much easier. You can use however you want to solve them. You can do it. We do expect you to know how to find the median by hand. Q1 and oh, well, sure. Now I lost all the ones I've worked. We do expect you to find median by hand and mean by hand, which is the average of all the numbers. You should be able to add all those up. A little laborious to do that. But let me go to the assignment and let's just show how to get it. Data Analytics 1. Oh boy. Sound like Eeyore. So down here, you want to click the Microsoft 365. Let me put this in the notes. So Microsoft 365. And we'll put notes. Okay. You're going to click this right here. I'm going to blank the screen. I don't think it pulls up anything too bad. And when you get over here, once you get into this area, you're going to click Microsoft 365. So go ahead and click Microsoft 365 again. You go to the data analytics assignment. I'll drop it in the chat for you. There's the data analytics assignment. Are you good with that? How are you doing on getting to the data analytics assignment? Does that work for you, Brandon? Does that link work? It should be down lower, and you then click this link right here. Nice. And then did you click the Microsoft button? And you should be over here. And they should go to Apps and click the Install Apps and Microsoft Apps. There you go. And then let me know if it doesn't work. Should work. Should work. Watch them be like, you have to have the newest operating system to use Microsoft Office. And you say, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. This is not fair. You go down to Apps. Make sure you've clicked Apps. And then you should have it. Should be able to do it. Hopefully. Yeah, so it's downloading. If it's downloading, you're good to go. And then check out like a day or two ago office hours. Just click to like recent office hours. You can, if you go to the office hours playlist, you can see what we've covered on different office hours. So go to playlist right here. I'll bring it over. Yep. So if you go to office hours playlist, there I am currently live. You can go back to different office hours and you'd be like, what did he cover here? Start of stream. We didn't really do anything big that day. Here we go here. Data analytics. There you go. So we've covered everything. 10 free universities. What? Is this the current live stream? We had like 11 people watching. I'm just looking around. Well, that's got it. And so does it look good? I see the 4 things. Where do I go once I'm in? You just click download Microsoft Apps. You go to Apps, Install Apps, Microsoft Apps. And that should start a download. And once you do the download, it'll start the install. Is that looking good right there? You click the top one, Microsoft Apps. And then you download them. I said, give me these apps. I want the apps. Ugh. Looking good? Ooh. Put a little chill music on. We'll be heading off in a moment here. If you're stuck, let me know. Post on the Discord too. And I can take a look. You can even meet on the Discord. So with that in mind, there's a red box that says install Office. Sounds like you're doing the right things. That sounds like you're on the right track. Brandon, you're doing great. Let me throw you some points right here. Brandon, great work. I think you're there. Let me know if it's not working. We're going to head off. I got class coming up here soon. Until then, let me make sure the video has saved. Save everything here. We got a lot done today. A lot of Chapter 2 quiz. Till then, bye for now, everyone. Bye!